parking.
Yeah,
That's a sort of innovative idea.
And have you looked at the sort of the 2 tiers? I've probably was been to Liverpool recently or something where you can sort of almost build yourself up and your high street goes higher up into the treetops. That would then also work around your point about land use as well, rather than excavation costs.
Yeah.
Developers don't like excavation costs.
Yeah. We have that a bit. Sorry, okay, this is your point, but we have this a bit because we have ground floor parking. I don't know if that's what you mean, but we've got ground floor parking on the bottom 2 blocks of flats to make sure that, because it's A, less expensive, and B, but they're still flats, so it's a good use of land.
Definitely, so you're going up rather than out.
Yeah.
In South Cambridgeshire, land use is really important because it's very expensive. So then that makes all the properties less affordable. Sounds good. What else have you got for me on that?
So building on the underground parking, so where we kind of highlighted it red, so it's going to be ground floor with shops, so to make it look actually more like a high street. So we've kind of included what us as young people kind of want. And so it would be restaurants, a post office, boots, a charity shop, a cafe, and like a sports shop. Because we kind of decided on the sports shop that it could cater to all kind of ages instead of just having one like very specific clothing shop. And so we would have flats on top, and so that would be kind of more the main street area. But on the bottom right corner, it would be 2 blocks of flat that are kind of more like enclosed, and so it kind of creates like a better community space next to the green and also next to terrace housing. And so we would have ground floor parking, as she said, and we would have flats, and on top we would have roof gardens to kind of maximise the greenery that we can have on Cambourne, and also kind of also create a better sense of community. So if we kind of added amenities like barbecue or benches, picnics, and kind of just make it look quite like cohesive and aesthetic.
Yeah, so you're giving that sort of social space for people to interact in, which is really important. So you said sort of cafes and restaurants. Post office is really interesting. Just out of interest, what would you use a post office for? I know what my 80-year-old mother-in-law does. She's always at the post office. But is there anything in particular that you think of that you use for?
Yeah, so I feel like the post office would be good, especially for young people as well, because not only does the post office it allows you to post goods and to receive them as well. But there's also cheap snacks in there as well, which you can go in, and it's very appealing to the young people. So I feel like that would fit.
And a lot of people, they're doing their banking now. High street banks are closing, so post office are really important. And that applies to all of us, doesn't it? All of us, even I, still get cash for my birthday. I need to bank it. Definitely. Anything else you want to flag to me? You're doing really well so far.
Yeah, I was going to talk about next to the blocks of flats, next to all of them actually, we've decided to introduce community like bike parking sheds, because I've seen it in like Orchard Park and it works really well, and it encourages active transport because it's a safe place to put your bikes, because people are scared of their bikes being stolen and stuff. And we've also made it so there are bike and pedestrian paths along the high street, and also along this street going down there, because some people might be like a bit scared to cycle because of like lots of traffic, and it's a lot of stuff.
So it's what we'd call a non-motorised user sort of path, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So that's good. And don't forget as well, more and more people are getting EV bikes, so you might want to put some EV chargers in there as well. It's the same way as you sort of plug and go and what have you. And then you sort of need to look at are you going to have some solar canopies maybe to then provide the electricity so it's more sustainable? Because those are the sort of things you can do in the outset. Oh no, I've not been sums away just yet. Anything else from anybody?
We've got quite a lot of parking space as well. So there's bike parking along the shops to kind of just encourage more active transport as well, but also kind of include accessible parking spaces for like disabled people, especially like having our talk yesterday with Mark Taylor, the access officer. So we kind of wanted to make that even more like accessible and more common, so then it's closer to shops, and on top of that we'll probably include it in the car parkings as well, so that it's not underground but just on ground floor, making it more accessible.
Can you put some parent spaces in there as well?
Of course, yeah.
I say that my daughter's 8 8 now, but it's still there. Also, when you're pregnant, you go to the hospital, and you'd have a bump sort of out here. And by the time you put your car in, you open the door. Couldn't actually go to the hospital on my own because I'd have to get out of the car beforehand. Most pregnant women, it's not because they can't drive, it's just they can't get out of the car. So you are allowed to use those spaces while you're pregnant. So that as well, if you want younger families using your facilities. Have you got any sort of play areas for young children, those sorts of things?
Yeah, we were considering adding like a playground and also like kind of maybe like table tennis tables and like maybe like simple.
I would go for an outdoor gym. Table tennis tables, what I can say, they become quite controversial when we had them in Northstowe. The noise that you get from the neighbours, that they can hear it.